Okay, so we are at basically the homepage of our class website. And so there's a couple of ways that you can navigate this, but I'm going to show you how to get to all of the graded items. So there's a couple of places that you want to look if there are questions that are coming in, and I have responded to them. You can look here in announcements, and I'm kind of pausing myself quickly because I want to make sure you see this as a student. Right now I'm on the instructor view, but I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a student view so you can see it like you would see it on your own screen. So just give it a moment for my computer to catch up with the, okay, so this is what it looks like, it should look like from your perspective as a student. And I'm assuming what you're looking at is this area down here where it says work to do. This is my first time using Brightspace as management for a class. So I'm getting used to all the functionality. Let me show you how I'm doing it. And then I will work on making sure things show up here for your work to do. But a couple of points of reference. First of all, you want to be able to see, check out these announcements. I put a lot of important information in these areas. So these are notes from me to the class, almost like if you're in a normal class, like a classroom setting, when we open up the class and we have class management things, like taking attendance. Hey guys, this is the news of the day. That's what you're going to find here in this area. It's kind of like the news of the day. So this is the information about the exam. Prior to that, I wrote a note about the quizzes. And then just prior to that too, I did put a whole slew of information about what is currently due in class, this Plan B. This will give you a sense of everything that's being graded for Unit 1. And so you'll see here Chapter 1, the Chapter 1 assignment, the discussion, the journal, and the quiz. And this repeats itself. So it's like rinse and repeat. Chapter 1, we've done the assignment, discussion, journal, quiz. Chapter 2, assignment, discussion, journal, quiz. Chapter 3, assignment, discussion, journal, quiz. And then finally, Chapter 8, assignment, discussion, journal, quiz. So those are all the things that are graded in Unit 1, as well as the Unit 1 exam. So I'm going to back up here, and I could do two ways to go back to the screen I was sorry. I can go one way out, which is to the course home. I could also click back to announcements, and this is going to bring me to the announcement page, so I can scroll through and see all of the relevant announcements for class. So you could just scroll through here and it will show you all of the announcements there. So a lot of good information there. Don't discount those, or make sure you're looking there. So I'm going to go back to home where we originally started. I'm going to show you a couple of things to look at. So okay, again, just give me a moment for my computer to catch up. Again, this is our homepage. You'll see our modules here. And under here where it says Unit 1, this is where all of the information pertaining to Unit 1 is housed. And so if you click on the Unit 1 folder, you'll be able to see everything inside of Unit 1. So there's a Chapter 1 module, and all of these are the items attached to Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and if I keep scrolling, you'll see Chapter 3 and Chapter 8 as well. So that list of the graded items, assignment, discussion, journal, and quiz, you'll see here, Chapter 1 assignments and information. So in every chapter, I start the chapter off with a page that outlines what is due to get complete credit. So to get full credit for the Chapter 1, you need to read Chapter 1. That goes without saying. I'm not awarding any points for reading the chapter, but in order to get full credit, you're going to need to read it so that you know how to answer the questions and things. So we're going to do the Chapter 1 activity, participate in the Chapter 1 discussion board. So you will answer the questions posed by me, and then you'll respond to one of your classmates. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Do the chapter journal activity, and then take the end of chapter quiz. So those are all the things for Chapter 1. Now I can click through with the arrow keys here to just continue going through each of the pages associated with Chapter 1, but I'm going to back out. So I'm going to use these breadcrumbs right here at the top of the screen to go back to all the items that are due for Chapter 1. So again, you can see everything in this particular module or container. So those where we just were the Chapter 1 assignments and information. This is a note about reading your textbook. You can, I provided chapter 1 to folks in case they had a little bit of back and forth with the bookshop and, trying to get their financial aid ready. I have not provided any other chapters aside from chapter 1. There's copyright laws, so I can't do that. But the folks who've subscribed to Revel, they can use this link to get to their Revel e-text. If you have a hard copy of the textbook, forgive me for turning my back around. I don't have it listed here right with me to hold up to the screen. You can certainly read a hard copy. I think I've said that the 4th, 5th, and 6th editions are okay. You just have to be careful with chapter numbers. You can rent a textbook. So these are just prompts for you to read the information. This is a glossary of important terms for chapter 1. This is the chapter 1 PowerPoint. That's for you to review while you're doing your reading to help you with like taking notes and understanding the concepts. The chapter 1 notes are an outline of chapter 1. So all the information that's housed in chapter 1, it's in an outline format. So easy to kind of pinpoint the important points that are highlighted in chapter 1. And now finally, here we come to one of the first graded assignments. So the journal for chapter 1. And for this journal, you can respond to either one of the following prompts. So you would pick one of these prompts and then you respond to that. So how to do that, you just click on this link here, click on journal chapter 1, and it will take you to the page where you can respond to it. So I'm surprised that you can see everybody there because you shouldn't be able to see everybody's post here. All right, well, I have to play with that a little bit. But what you'll do for yourself is to start with a new thread, and then you respond to one of these topics. So whichever one you feel most comfortable with, respond to that there. And now, again, I'm going to back out. I could continue moving through with these navigation arrows here, but I'm going to back out again to the chapter 1 container or module so you can see everything listed in there. And so under the journal, the next graded assignment is here is the 7 components of the communication process. You did this one. So that was great. I responded to you there, but this is how you would do it. Again, you'd click through and submit your work. And we talked about, I believe, drafting things in Google Docs and then copy and pasting it into the text box here. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up so we can take a look at it from a student perspective. So here are the instructions, find a clip, and then go ahead and write a summary of it, and then point out explicitly the 7 components of the communication process. And so I can upload my file. So I guess if you would want to draft it in Google Docs, and then you could submit it through there. So if I said to upload here, it opens up here. Well, I guess it doesn't give you an option to put your Google Doc in there. Forgive me. Oh, this is where you can do your Google Doc. Okay, so if you have a Google Doc, choose existing, and then you would plunk it in here. So I'd add a file. So I'm not going to mess with my bandwidth here, but that's how you would do that. Again, I'm going to back out to chapter 1. So we've covered the journal, the assignment, and then you also have 2 discussion prompts here. So this first discussion prompt says, what principles guide your decision about whether a given communication behavior is ethical or unethical? For example, how would you define gossip? Is that different from venting about another person? How so? Are these communication behaviors ethical or unethical? So after considering that, you click on this link here. It will open up our discussion board, and you'll see a lot of your classmates have already responded to it. But what you'll do is start a new thread, and you would say in here, like, gossiping is unethical in my opinion. And then well, apparently I don't know how to spell opinion. So, and then in this space, you would write whatever your response is here. I believe that gossiping is unethical because of this, that, and the other thing. For example, my coworker used to gossip a lot. My manager caught sight of it and we all got in trouble. And everybody felt badly and cried, and then we all got fired. Whatever, whatever you feel like you want to write in there as a response to the prompt, that's what you would do. And then you would go ahead and click post. After you do that, your prompt will populate down here, and then pick one of your classmates' discussion prompts. So what they've written in response, and then say like, hey, Josiah, I understand what you're saying about gossip. I certainly agree with you. Or, here's another take on something that you've said. So literally we're involved in a discussion. Once you've responded to my instructor prompt up here, and then you've also replied to one of your classmates, that's all you have to do to get the points for the first part of the discussion. So for this part, you just have to put 2 posts up. We'll come back out to chapter 1. I'm going to go ahead and leave. It's asking me if I should leave because I didn't actually post my post. It's fine. I'm back in chapter 1. So the second part of the discussion is here. So here's prompt number 2. Technology provides us with more channels for communication. Do you think some channels allow for more competent, effective, and appropriate communication than others? Are there circumstances in which you would avoid a particular channel and use another? So again, you'd click through, you'd create a post, you'd respond to that particular prompt. Well, my computer's catching up. So I'd go ahead and start a new thread. I'd respond to this. I believe that more channels for communication are amazing. We can do all sorts of great things. I'd hit post. Once my post populates here, then I'd find one of my classmates' responses here and I would reply to them. So I'd say, hey, Riley, what a great point you make here. I support that and appreciate everything you have to say about that. And then I hit post. And at that point, you're done with the discussion component for chapter 1. And then finally, last but not least, so we've talked about the journal, the assignment, the discussion, and now the last part of the chapter is to take the chapter 1 quiz. And again, just like any other quiz you've taken before, these are small assessments, but you have 3 opportunities to take them. The highest score that you get on your quiz will count toward your final grade. So there's, incentive for you to, if you didn't do well on it, take it again and get a better score next time. So it'll help you kind of focus your energies. And 100% you should be taking every quiz because they do count toward your grade, the highest grade in those quizzes, and they will be a great study guide for you in terms of the test. So once we get through the quiz for chapter 1, that's everything that you need to do for chapter 1. And then you need to do the same thing for chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 8.